Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna create these sticky cards with tickers. You can see as we scroll down, each card sticker starts sliding, animating its icon, and a new card gets sticked on the previous one with some top spacing, just enough to keep the previous card's icons visible until we view the last card and scroll down to the bottom. You can also make any card fully visible by clicking them, which works sort of an accordion manner, right? You can find the links for both started and finished files in the description below, so let's get started. The only pre-made element that I need to mention is this cards wrap stack that contains a sticky card which has our content and an icon with a background that has absolute position. Let's start with turning our card into a component. In the component screen, first I will select the headline and click in its content under the text section. I'm gonna create a plain text variable. Then I will select the body text, and this time I'm gonna create a formatted text variable for its value. Now I can select the icon and click in its name under the material component properties. I'm gonna create a variable and change its name to icon name. We also need to add a variable for the links we're gonna add to our cards, since each card is going to have a link for its own scroll section for us to be able to navigate. So while variant 1 is selected, I will click link on the right panel and then click link to create a variable for its value. Last variable I need to create is the background color. So again, while variant 1 is selected, I will click fill under the styles and create a color variable for the background. Since we need a ticker in the second variant, I will first drag the ticker to the icon BG in the primary variant, resize it to fit the background, copy the icon that I have under icon BG frame and paste it to the left of the ticker and connect it to the ticker. Of course, in the first variant we need to set ticker's opacity to 0. Since it's already invisible and doing so can improve the performance, I will also change its direction to bottom. Now we can create the second variant, make icon BG full height, make icon's opacity 0, make ticker visible by making its opacity 1. Instead of turning visibility on and off, changing the opacity is gonna create a nice and smooth transition. Also make ticker's height full height, change its speed to 30%. Let's preview our ticker while the variant 2 is selected. And it works perfectly, right? Now we can go to home screen, duplicate our card and change its content to create the other cards, right? So I will duplicate the card element we have and paste its title and its text. Now I can change its icon to image and its background to card 2. I'm gonna repeat these steps of copying the existing card and changing its properties and content to create the other cards. Since we need to stack our cards on top of each other with some margin differences, we need to enter different top values for them. So after selecting all cards, I will click position on the right panel and enter 56, since we want the first card to have 56 pixels of top spacing after sticking. Then I'm gonna command click the first card to deselect it and paste plus 56 to add existing top value second card's spacing. deselect second card and paste +56 again, and for one last time I'll add 56 for the last card. Let's preview. And our cards get stacked on top of each other with some nice top spacing, right? Until we see the last card. Now we need to add the scroll variant effect to make our cards switch to their second variants to make the ticker active. But since we're gonna make our cards clickable to be able to weave them quickly while they are stacked, and when it comes to sticky elements, it is not possible to navigate to their scroll sections since they are already on the screen. We're gonna create some non-sticky frames to add scroll section values to them. So I will create a 200 by 200 frame, drop its opacity to something like 0.2, make its position absolute, and I'll make sure it is aligned to top with the first card, and I'll make sure it's aligned to the top of the first card, add a scroll section to it and enter 1 for its value. Of course I'm gonna name it scroll section, then I'm gonna duplicate it and drag it down to align it with the second card and enter 2 for its scroll section, and repeat these steps to create the third and fourth scroll section frames. Now we can select all of the scroll sections. Actually, let me gather them on top of each other on the layers panel, and then I'm gonna select all of them, and since we're not gonna edit them further and we don't need them to be visible, I'm gonna make their opacities 0. Since we have our scroll sections, now we can add the scroll variant effect to our cards, right? So I'm gonna select all of the cards, click in effects and scroll variant. I'm gonna change effects settings to trigger sectioning view, viewport center, and when the section 1 is in the middle of the viewport, I need the first card to switch to its second variant, and when the second scroll section is in the viewport, I want it to go back to its variant 1. Then I'm gonna select the second card and make its first scroll section 2 and the second one 3. Actually, as I see it, our first card also has a scroll section, and I need to make sure our first card's scroll variant effect has the correct section 1. So after fixing it, I'm also making sure my second card has the right scroll sections, and for the third card, when third scroll section is in the viewport, I want variant 2 to be active, and when the fourth card is in the viewport, I want to switch back to its first variant. And for the last card, I want its second variant to be activated when the fourth scroll section is in the viewport, and I want it to switch to its first variant when the footer is in the viewport. Now we can preview. As I see it, our scroll variant effect works, but we can just a little bit slower. So I'll go to the card components screen, and while the primary variant is selected, I'm gonna click spring next to transition and make its time 0.6 seconds. Then I can go back to home screen and preview again. And now we can see the transition is smoother and much nicer. Now all we need to do is add in links to each card to be able to weave them when we click. So after selecting the first card, I will click add next to its link property under its component properties, and link it to section 1. And repeat this step to link each card to its own scroll section. Then, in order our cards not to overlap when we click them, we need to add Y offsets to the scroll section frames, starting from the second one. Actually, let me take the second one under the first one in the layer stack to keep things clear. And I will enter 56 for the second scroll section's Y offset value, and enter 112 for the third one, and enter 224 for the fourth one. Lastly, I will add 1 for target scroll section for our go to top button. Now we can preview, and we can see after scrolling down, our cards stick with enough top spacing to make their icon visible. And we can click any card to make it fully visible thanks to the scroll sections and their Y offset values. I hope you liked the tutorial. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, check my other tutorials, and see you in the next one.